If you put $1,000 into Steph Curry cards in 2012, you'd be a millionaire now. What's up, guys? It's Frank from Trove, and welcome back to Hobby Hunters, where we help you find sports card treasure on PWCC. For today's episode, let's look at the story behind Curry's card market and how his success may be making another basketball player's card market look like a really sneaky good deal this offseason. Last Thursday, on the same night that the Warriors won the NBA Finals, Steph Curry's National Treasures RPA, limited to 99 copies, sold for $720,000 on PWCC's June premiere auction. But this card wasn't always that valuable. Back in 2011, 2012, you could have bought this card for about $500, which may seem like a shock today, but back then, nobody was expecting the Golden State Warriors to turn into a dynasty. Steph Curry was drafted 7th overall in 2009, and even though he was a big name coming out of Davidson, he wasn't viewed as the top prospect in the class. Because in that class, you had other young, exciting players like Tyreke Evans, Brandon Jennings, James Harden, and of course, Blake Griffin. And through Curry's first 3 years in the league, he never averaged more than 20 points per game, the Warriors never had a winning record, and he was repeatedly injuring his ankles, which really casted doubt on the long-term outlook of his NBA career. However, in the 2012-2013 season, the Warriors started to gain momentum, and the Splash Brothers were showing flashes of just how great they could become. The Warriors finally had a winning record that season, and that's when we saw Steph Curry's NTRPA in the BGS 9.5 grade sell publicly for $720. Then in 2015, during Curry's first MVP season, but before the Warriors had won a title, this card then sold again for $5,700. Then in 2016, during the iconic 73-9 season, this card jumped all the way to over $16,000. And by the time we got to May 2019, the Golden State Warriors had just won 3 titles in 4 years. Steph Curry was a 2-time MVP, and this card sold for an all-time high of $50,000. But even with everything going wrong for the Warriors that summer, with Klay Thompson getting hurt, with Kevin Durant leaving and going to the Nets, Steph Curry's card market continued to rise. This is when the collectibles boom really started taking off, which we've now seen continue for the last 3 years, and collectors were dying to own the greatest cards of the greatest athletes of all time, and Steph Curry easily fit into that category. So as he was established as the top 2 point guard in NBA history, this NTRPA sold for over $430,000 in January 2021. And finally, this card just sold for $720,000 through PWCC on the same night last week when Steph Curry finally won his first Finals MVP. With Curry now being a 4-time champion, Finals MVP, 8-time All-NBA, 2-time League MVP, and the undisputed greatest shooter of all time, Steph Curry's cards have now reached GOAT status. And if you bought 2 of these NTRPAs, which would have cost you $1,000 total back in 2011 or 2012, they would now be worth over $1.4 million. So looking at Curry's card market right now, who's a basketball player that I'm looking to collect? All the excitement in the basketball card market right now is around Steph Curry, but this offseason, I'm going to be watching the player most similar to him, Trae Young, and here's why. With the Hawks having a down year and the continued ascension of guys like Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards, and John Morant, collectors are definitely starting to take their eyes off of Trae. At only 23 years old, he's averaged over 25 points and 9 assists a game over the last 3 seasons, and don't forget that just last summer, he led the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals. But because Trae didn't make a deep postseason run this year, and collectors have such short attention spans, many people are forgetting the fact that Trae is still on the trajectory of becoming a superstar. Trae Young cards are down in price right now, but all the reports around the league are saying that Atlanta is going to be aggressive this offseason, so by the time the fall comes around and Trae Young's back on the court, everybody's going to love watching him play again. And on this Sunday's PWCC weekly auction, I'm going to be watching his Contenders rookie card, his Purple Pulsar Prism rookie card, and his Prism rookie signatures card. So that wraps it up for today's episode. Make sure you head over to PWCCmarketplace.com or download the PWCC app, where you can bid on thousands of cards every week, and this is the best place to sell your cards as well. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next week.